What up, guys? Jason Guyman here. How's everybody doing? How's my friends doing tonight? I have, I'm going to talk a little bit about the stuff that isn't real fun to talk about. And so we will hit on different things. And so that is what I want to hit on is things that make you want to pull your hair out. And what caught this conversation going is I've been talking to a couple different people. And so that is why I want to hit on this. I want to hit on some different things about one. Someone asked me about taxes, and since yesterday was tax day or 2 days ago, I know I probably should have went the other day. Is this live? Yes, this is live. Rick, it is live, live, live. And so I want to hit on some things about that. And I know we are probably late, but some of you may have had to file extensions and all of that good stuff. And if you did, that sucks for you. Um, but it happens, right? And so, what can we do to help us grow? And what can we do to make it way better for us? So, this is out on the Christmas lights and pressure washing because both of these businesses are definitely things that we need to do. And so I will talk about this here for sure right here. What happened on Monday night. I will give a little bit more story behind where I was at because people thought I was missing and they didn't know where Jason was at. And so we will hit on that also. So let's get started here. So I did Monday night. I wasn't at Monday Night Marketing. There was a guy that had went missing on Sunday night. Actually, he went missing on Thursday, and I'm on water rescue. And so Monday night we went down to the river and we did some scanning. And it took a little bit longer than we thought, but it really didn't take us much longer. We scanned with an ROV. It's a little machine that goes down underwater that we can scan with it. And then we used another tool called a Kongsberg side scan. So it sits on a tripod and it shoots 360 around it. And then we also, the night before on Sunday, had shot it with just the regular sonar that goes down through the water. And so they wanted me to go with the ROV to see if we could see what they might have a target. And so with that is what I did. And I was out on the river and there's not very good stuff there. And time got past me before I realized it was what I was doing, and I dropped the ball, and it was my fault. And normally my wife catches it for me, and she didn't catch it either. So that's where our Monday night meeting was, and why that didn't happen. We did recover the vehicle, and the person was in it, and so that is what it is. So we sent 2 divers in. It did have a little bit of current in it. And so we went diving. I didn't go diving. I was kind of heading one of the leaders of making sure nobody got hurt diving. So that is 20-foot span of Jason. Not quite, but I probably could have. It wasn't very deep where this vehicle, or where from the top, so it could have touched it. But that's where I was, and we got home around 3 o'clock in the morning. So I didn't get very much sleep that night. And what was that, Tuesday? I woke up at 6:30 and took my kid to school. And so that is what I did for Monday. So that's why I wasn't on Monday Night Live or Monday Night Zoom call. I was doing water rescue. So that is what I did. So let's see who we got in here tonight, and we will get started moving on here. We got Bigfoot Soft Wash. I love it. Good evening, friends. Beautiful pressure here. Let's go. Cranking out another $2,000 day, booking to mid-May because the people will pay. And we're going to hit on this. We're going to hit on why you got to make this happen, especially at this point in Jason's business. He will find out when he starts hiring employees, and we're going to hit on that too tonight. So we will hit on a couple things here tonight. What's up? What's going on? And this does pertain to Christmas light business. This pertains to pressure wash business. This pertains to any type of businesses, the things that we're going to hit on tonight. How are you doing? What's up? Mr. Nathan in the house. What an appropriate thumbnail. You like that, huh? What up, fam? Michael Phelps has nothing on Jason. 20-foot span. Thank God thought I was something wrong. I couldn't get on the Zoom. Nope, that's what it was. Let's see. How do I improve my sales process if I'm only doing yard signs? Jason, you talking about the Ohio River? Actually, we were in the Licking River. We were 10 miles up the Licking River. So normally we do dive in the Ohio River. There's no visibility at all, even in the Licking River. So yeah, good job. What's up, everyone? Hey, folks. All right. So my book of the week is going to be a little bit different book of the week because the topic that I'm going to hit on is not only what the second thing of it is but taxes. And I know taxes is one of those things that is kind of the four-letter word, but it is something that we have to do, and we need to make sure that we're not overpaying in taxes. And I know people that can pay way too much in taxes because they don't want to have the right person do it for them or whatever reasons. And so the book of the week is going to be, well, if I can find it here, the book of the week is going to be, move out of the way here, it is going to be this book right here, Tax-Free Wealth. I would highly recommend you to read this book. It makes a whole lot of sense, written by a CPA. And so this book here, I would highly, highly, highly recommend you to read Tax-Free Wealth. Tax-Free Wealth is definitely a book that will save you lots of money. And so, you know, it's all about making money, but it's also about saving money, right? And I'm not a big person of just spending just to buy more equipment so that you're not paying taxes, because you still got to pay that money in there. But, you know, putting it in the right places, putting it in, you know, investments, so that way, you know, putting it in maximizing your IRAs out, putting it in, if you don't have employees, you can put it in a SEP IRA. And so, yes, it costs you money, but in the end, it doesn't cost you taxes. And just because you put it in that doesn't mean that it's just going to lessen that burden down a little bit. And so the next thing I would say is if you don't have a good CPA, I would highly recommend you get a good CPA. You will be surprised what a good CPA can help you out and make sure that you do not owe more money than you need to owe. I just helped one of my guys in my mentorship. He was like, it's showing me that I made $90,000 and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to have to owe all this money. And he got my CPA. I don't give my CPA out to everybody. He got a hold of my CPA and he did a lot better than that. So that's why it is important that we have a good CPA. And so a good CPA is going to know what you need to do, which this book also talks about the CPA in there. And so this is something that I know it's not fun and sexy, but it is definitely something that you need to do. And in this time of year is not the time to go talk to your CPA. You always want to talk to your CPA come around, you know, September, you know, October, September. So that way you can tax plan instead of tax fraud, basically, is what happens when you do it now. So let me see here. So this is some things that is important that we do to make sure that we're not doing this. So what all do we need? What are some hidden costs for When I first started Home Advisor spam me, now it's SEO spamming me. Yeah, it is. Basically, you get one or the other. You might get both too going. So what are some things that we need to be in business that we might not think of business wise? And what are some of the costs, right? Why do we need to charge $300 or $1,000 an hour so that we can make money, so we can put money aside? And a lot of times we have the mindset of, well, I don't want to charge that much because I don't want to charge that much. And I'm going to give you some reasons why you will want to charge that much when you start factoring in all of the cost it costs to run a business. And so obviously your initial cost is, your marketing, right? How do we get the phone to ring? I know a lot of people are going to say you need to put all this initial cost in equipment, but whether you're doing a Christmas light or a pressure washing business, it's about how do we get customers. It's not worrying about the equipment right out of the get-go. It's not worrying about buying the lights right out of the get-go. It's about how do we get this stupid phone to ring? Because if we can't get this stupid phone to ring, it does us no good to have a $30,000 rig that we're like, oh, look at this rig, and we're stroking it, and we're telling everybody about our rig, and we're in all the Facebook pages that we shouldn't be in, showing our rig and all this stuff. And this is not what's going to make you money, right? This is not what's going to get your phone to ringing. And so it's important that we spend money in marketing in our initial cost. Yes, do we need equipment? Yes, we need an equipment, right? But it's not something that we have to think about. And then the next thing is taxes, right? The next book I would highly recommend you read is Profit First. If you haven't read Profit First is definitely a book that I would highly, highly recommend. I used to have a guy that was always on here, Ben, not Gregory, but a different Ben. And he was one that he did well. He did like $250,000, $300,000 that year, the previous year, and it coming into tax time, and it was right around this time. And he's like, I owe $30,000 worth of taxes, and I got zero money. I have set no money away for my taxes. And so that is a big problem, right? That's why, Profit First teaches 5 bank accounts, and one of those bank accounts is a tax account, and you should put 15% or 10 to 15% in that tax account. And there's a reason why we put the 10 to 15% in that tax account, and we do not touch that money. So when taxman says, hey, we need 25,000, you're like, here you go, right? Here you go. Versus, I don't have $25,000 to give you because of this. And you might just be starting a pressure washing business. You might be at year 2, year 3, and you're growing. But, always setting that money even when you're first starting. And I know it can be hard sometimes, but setting that money aside so when taxes come, you want to try to keep your money down, but you want to be able to not be like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So this is why it is important that we do this for taxes. And taxes is one of those things that, depends on whether you have to do sales tax. And sometimes if you have to do sales tax and you do so much, you got to do it every month. So like Kentucky, you're supposed to charge 6% for sales tax. Because they passed, when the teachers had their big spew a couple years ago, they passed the luxury tax, and we fall under the luxury tax, and so that's why you're supposed to be charging 6%. So now you got to put that money aside. That 10 to 15% isn't counting that money. That's extra money, right? And so it's important that we make sure that we put this money aside so it doesn't hurt us in the end. Now, my question to you all is how many people have read Profit First and it has set that money aside in a different bank account? I'd like to see who we have in here that has done that, so that way other people can say, oh, you've done that? That's a very good thing to do. I got to pay my sales tax every month, right? And so that's something that you have to do, and that's a pain in the butt, and it's something that you have to do to make that happen. So that's the reason why we have to do that. Now, another hidden cost that we have. So obviously we get insurance when we first start out, and we pay, $1,000, $2,000, and we cry about it and we complain about it. And that is a pain in the butt, right? And so what happens is that's one insurance, right? That's general liability insurance. So then we want to go get employees. And so Nathan actually messaged me today and he's like, Jason, they're wanting this money. They want $8,000, $9,000 for workers' comp insurance for me to be able to get these commercial jobs that I have on the books, and I got to have it, right? And I got one that's wanting $25,000. And yes, that's what happened. So the reason why my business was originally in Kentucky and I actually moved it to Ohio business is because Ohio actually does it through the state, and the state does you just got to pay it per month, how much ever you pay out. Versus that Kentucky, you got to pay it all up front, and that is another whole hassle that sucks that you have to do. And so, if you don't have $20,000 to give these yahoos for insurance, then that's a problem, right? And so you have to figure out how you can come up with doing it, or you have to figure out, this is why we charge $300 an hour, because the cost of running a business, a lot of people's like, oh, it only cost me bleach and gas. That's the only thing it cost me. And I call bull honky. It costs you a whole lot more than that, right? If you don't know your numbers, which most people don't know your numbers, and if you do know your numbers, let me know what it costs you to go out and do a job. How much does it cost you to go out and do a job? Whether it's a Christmas light job or a pressure washing job. And that would be a good thing to know, is knowing your numbers. And if you know that number, write it in there if you're so confident. And don't be being like, I think it's like $150 to $200, because that tells me you don't know your numbers. And you might say, there's no way that it costs that much. And it does cost that much. I promise you, it does cost you that much. And so this is something that my $200 a day probably turned into $250 or more, right? And so this is why it is important that we understand, why is workers' comp that expensive? I was told $1,800 for the year in North Carolina. I would highly doubt it that you're going to pay $1,800 for workers' comp. Workers' comp is usually a percentage of whatever they pay, unless it's through the state, and then it might be a little bit cheaper. But it is very expensive, especially in states that don't do it through the state, and that is where it makes it way more expensive for that employee. So it cost me $182 a day, right? So to go out and clean a house, it costs $182 a day. I'm charging accordingly due to inflation, and everything is going up, right? That's another cost that's went up, and I know a lot of people it's went up is bleach cost has doubled or tripled what it used to cost a year or two ago. And most of you have not doubled or tripled your cost or your prices. You barely going up at all, and you're paying way more, and your actually bottom line keeps getting smaller and smaller. And the goal is how do we make that bottom line bigger and bigger, right? It don't matter if we make $1 million and we spend $989,000. If we make $1 million and we only spend $500,000 and the bottom line is $500,000, now that's a good job, right? That's a good money, and that's where we want to be at. Now we're going to have to pay taxes on that, or we're going to have to put money aside so that way we can put it in investment properties and all of that good stuff. Just paid the IRS $14,500 to the IRS, and that's, that sucks, but that means you're making money. And at the end of the day, this business is about making money. It's not about being broke and always showing nothing. Lots of fake wealthy folks living beyond their means in my area. It's funny. $1 million home acting like a $499 window clean is too high. Yep. All right. So if you all got any questions, whether it's pressure washing, I don't care what it is, Christmas lights. Hey, Christmas lights is right around the corner. And actually, I got asked the other day, what do I send to my Christmas light customers? And what I told them is I send them my other services that I offer, right? We're still going to touch them for other services that we offer, so that way they know we do awesome work and they will want to buy from us. And so our Christmas light customers are some of our best customers because they'll do the house wash, the concrete ceiling, they'll do everything, because if they're willing to spend $2,000 on stupid Christmas lights, they'll spend $2,000 on concrete ceiling. So that is something you need to do. How do you figure out what it costs you to do a job? Well, what you do is you take all your expenses and you divide it between how many jobs you have. And that's what it costs you per job. That's the easy, dirty way of doing it. I use profit first. I had enough. And that's right. You know, if you do profit first, like I said, the book Profit First, and you put your money in 10 to 15%, whatever it is, into your tax account, when tax time comes, you're like, here you go. And it doesn't hurt you. It's not like, oh my God, where am I going to get my $14,000 at? It's just, bam, get it out and get it done. Just remember, every time you add a layer of insurance, increases your price to account for that. Don't take the hit out of your profit. Yep. Had a light customer spend more money in ceiling than lights. That's why we do that, right? That's why we offer other services than just Christmas lights. We want to offer all of our service. All right, let's see. I'm going to go through some of these questions and then How do I improve my sales process if I'm doing only yard signs? How's your phone call? What are you asking questions? Are you letting them talk? Are you getting information from them? Those are big things. Letting them talk and letting them do all. If you're doing all the talking, then that is an issue, right? We don't want to be doing all of the talking. If you all got questions, ask them. But I want to ask one other thing here. What's your all's goal? Give me one goal for next week. I just want a little goal. Write down one goal. What's one goal you want to do next week? What do you want to get done? Good evening, Mr. G. The website looks great. Awesome. I got Caleb's website done. I got Trey Brown's done too, but it's not 100%. I haven't sent you all the information yet, but I did get yours done, Caleb, and send it to you. If you want to go check it out, I think it's Pressure Wash Iowa, I believe it is .com. Pressure Wash Iowa, I believe it is, or Iowa Pressure. I don't know which one it is. Just jumping in. What's up, y'all? How are you doing? What would you recommend enrollment agent along with a CPA? Would you recommend? I don't know. Maybe. Probably. Why be the $99 guy and you can be the $1,000 guy? I like being the $1,000 guy. Do you like being the $1,000 guy? When I first started, Home Advisor spammed me. Now it's Snake Oil SEO. And it's getting pretty bad with the SEO spamming people too. They've figured out ways to use the Google My Business to search for people, and everybody's trying to get you with something. But this is something that I want to hit with a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to tell you, they promise you the world. They're going to promise your phone's going to blow up, and they're going to get a bunch of money from you, and they're going to say it's going to take time, right? It just takes time. It takes 6 months. It takes 9 months before this stuff works, and you're going to be, thousands of dollars in, and you're going to have nothing. So just be careful with it out there. Don't just go off of everything they say. Listening while working, hoping one have that blessed day. Insurance, money. Had some problems at a home and was able to work on my business for a little while, but starting build my rig, Now, super excited for 2023 wash season. Yeah, the SEO calls from Google third party is a bit much. They've been hammering me. Is it, you already touched that one. Mr. Tristan put gas, health risk, being on a roof, insurance, chemicals. I believe you hit the nail on the head Sunday. Charge like you want to be, not where you are. Oh, yeah, for sure. You want to charge like you have where you want to be at, right? If my business and I want to grow my business, I want to charge like I've already grown there, right? I want to charge that I'm paying an office manager. I'm paying a technician. I'm paying a secretary, right? That's what we want to do. We want to charge like we already have that versus I'm making good money. I'm making $100 an hour with my $99 house washes. And here's the thing, guys. I see it all the time. This is something that I see that people will not charge because they're afraid they're going to lose jobs, and I've showed you guys why you don't want to be at 60, 70, 80% close rate, right? We want to be at 50%. I can show you guys that are doing 250 to 800 to $1,000,000 a year, and they're at a 30% close rate, but their average ticket is $1,000, right? And so that's why we want to be that person. We don't want to be the super cheap people. We want to be the most expensive person. That's who we want to be. Been turned down by that want to pay $99, that one that will pay $1,000 and love your work. And the people that complain the most are the people that pay the least. That is about a guarantee, whether it's pressure washing or Christmas light. The people that get the cheapest will complain the most. Profit first changed my mindset so much. It will. The customer that pay the actual treat you better and appreciate you more. As cool as my rig looks, it's not the most important thing in my business. I have 3-horse marketing team pulling it, named Consistent, Relentless, and Prolific. And they work amazing when you get them working. Change your mind state, and then you'll change your surroundings. Show me your people you hang around, and I'll show me your future. And this is so true. If you're the top of all the bums, you're just a big old bum. But if you're the bottom of the most, well out thought person, you're the best place you want to be at. This is something that as you grow in business, you will learn this a lot. This is one reason why I say go to the huge convention is because you will see the big dogs and you can hang with the big dogs, and they're not that bad with you, right? They're not like, oh, you're just starting out. No, they'll help you out, but if you're down with the lowlies and you're around those people and you're the top, they're going to try to pull you back. And that's not where you want to be at, right? You want to be at the bottom of the big dogs. Had another local washer tell me I'm not going to make 100,000 my first year, so I raised my goal to 150, right? That's what the goal is, right? And you're young and just starting out. That doesn't mean you can't make money. I can show you people that have made money by doing this stuff. I got a guy that sent me a message the other day, and he's like, "Man, I was doing 10,000. I started listening to you, and I'm at $18,000 a month already." And so this is why it's important that we understand how to run a business and how do we charge and how do we talk on the phone and how do we interact with customers and how do we ask for that review all the way through the sales process, and how do we do these things are the important things. I see so many people get caught up of, I got to worry about this chemical and I got to get this chemical and I got to pay $100 for this chemical. And these chemicals don't build money. I got to buy this gadget because it just came out and I got to put it on my rig. And I got to buy this gadget because it just came out and I got to put it on my rig. And this person said I need to do that. And none of those gadgets are going to make you money. And that's the whole purpose of why I push marketing so hard, because marketing is so important. And when we're doing marketing and we set goals, what if Caleb only does 80,000? Did he did he really fail his first year? No, no, he didn't. But if he only put his goal for 50 and only did 50, is it better to set it for 100 and do 150 and do 125,000? That's why you set goals. I got to pay my sales tax every month. Yes, we pay them quarterly. Listen to it 3 times on my Audible. Pay out every month. Don't even notice it when it's deducted because you have it in that account. That's why it's so important. Profit first takes the hassle and worry out of business and finance. And this is so true, man, because when you don't put this money away and put it in its own spots, you will worry yourself to death because you're like, where am I going to get this money at? Because it's like money, right? If we don't tell our money where it goes, it just goes. It just like I had $5,000 in the account. Now I'm getting that check balance saying that it's too low under the threshold or it went under, right? But when we tell it where it needs to go at, then it's a way better and it's not near stressful. Fashionably late. I just found out I owe $10,000 in taxes. From now on, I will do my quarterly payments. That helps with that for sure. I pay quarterly for the state and my business taxes. I have 3 accounts. My $200 a day probably went to $250. And what he means by that is that $20,000, $10,000 to $20,000 workers' comp crap. Lots of tire kickers this way. Why is workers' comp that expensive? I already hit on that one. Cost me $182 a day. I have workers' comp and general liability. Yep. Does workers' comp increase in general liability? That ain't what I want. Does workers' comp increase with more employees? Yes. It's per employee. And it's how much you pay that employee too. So if you're paying an employee like $50,000, let's just say you say that you tell them that you're only going to pay that employee $30,000 and you paid them $50,000, they will come audit your business like once a year or every other year. And if you lied to them, then guess what? Then they come and give you a big old bill even bigger. And it ain't no fun. I promise you it's not. I've been there, done it. Our cost on residential job is about 50% of the total price of the job. Cleared profit is 50%. Bleach is $5.30 after tax. Switching people and finally getting drums. Switching tire trailer around and built fill station in the garage. Is it better to lease a truck or buy a truck? It depends. I like being debt free. So if you can get debt free, that's where I like being at. Now, I do know some places where you can lease the equipment. You can buy it all under the truck and lease and everything and get equipment and all through it is one way that you could do it. Also, the thing about the lease is too, you get a little bit more tax breaks and tax write-offs for that lease. That is the only benefit about it. Yeah. It's good to have more insurance than the minimum. Yeah, and so this is something too. I would also say, do you have insurance on your equipment? What happens if your equipment catches on fire? What happens if your equipment um, gets stolen? There's also insurance that covers yourself. How do you figure out what it cost you to do a job? I talked on that already. Trust me, I love insurance. It's good to have shows you're a professional. This is something that adds value, right? And I know it sounds stupid, but it does add value. This is a way that we can add value and set you apart from your customer, your competitors, right? We talked about that in this book here. There was a lawn care guy that started taking some of his. It was his employee, and he started doing it, and he started telling those customers because there was a case in New York, and there is other cases that if you get hurt on the job, and they can sue the homeowner, and it can come out of the homeowner's pay and not even out of the homeowner's insurance. So there's reasons why you have to do that. I use Profit First. I had enough. Protected at all costs. Can I use a 4 gallon a minute pressure washer in my X-Jet using SH to clean a metal roof? Yeah, you can. Yep. Just rinse it. Don't use no surfactant and rinse. You can probably do not even full straight 12.5. You only need about a 2 to 3% mix is all you need up there. I've been doing the math. No clue how these guys in my area advertise house wash for $149 a month. Well, it just depends on where you're at. Some people just, that's good money for them, but some people it's not. Some people could go to work at Chick-fil-A or making $20 an hour and make more than what they're actually making that way. Same thing, chemical. Had a light customer spend more money in sealing. Jason, I'm a tired man. Need some signs going out. Well, get them out there. Quit being tired. You're young whippersnapper. I'm only in year 3, but have a client list, CRM, and staying in front of them. It's amazing to send out an email and then bam, the phone rings. It's a good feeling, isn't it? I did a round of EDDM, see how that goes. Thanks for the super chat for the carnivore diet. So I am on the carnivore diet. I've lost 1 pound. I'm down to 277, 278. Actually, I got down to 277. I gained 3 pounds, got back up to 280, and now I'm down to 278. And so I'm still kicking along with it. I've done some exercising. If you follow me on Facebook, you've seen that today I went swimming. Normally I do about 30 laps. Takes me normally about 30 minutes. And so Monday, I was like, man, I'm going to do 60 laps. And I wasn't feeling it. So I did 30 laps and came home. And then today I was like, I'm going to do 60 laps. I even put it on Facebook because I'm like, I'm going to make myself accountable. And so holding yourself accountable, it's real easy not to hold ourselves accountable if we don't have things that hold us accountable, whether it's somebody to hold you accountable or it's something that holds you accountable, right? And so I put it on Facebook for accountability, and so I did 61 laps, and then I did 20 minutes in the sauna, so that way you sweat all the bleach back out of your pores from the pool. So that's where my diet is. I was losing, when I first started, I was losing like 4 and 5 pounds a week, and that was awesome. This pound a week crap kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I'm getting ready to buy a cow, so that way I can put it in a freezer and have all the meat, because I'm eating all the meat that I can. So that way I'm hoping it'll help with not eating crap, and I'll just eat stuff like that. So I put some prices on postcards to hopefully filter out the cheap clients. Established my LLC and opened up a business bank account. Awesome. It's a great start. That's the things that we have to do is start somewhere, do something. What's the status on mine? I've gotten it back and I got to start working on it, is the status. I just got it back yesterday, I think it was. And I got to look at it, see if it's good. Make sure she did everything right. Go ditch bleach guy for past 3 years and starting using drums. I already talked that one. Hi, I'm new. My goal is actually start my business. Filed my LLC 2 days ago. That's starting out somewhere, right? You got to start somewhere, and that's a good place to do it. Next thing is go get you some signs and get the phone ringing. Got the PO sent to me today for an $11,000 job. That's sweet. That's high five right there. That's a good clapping noise right there. Put out 300 signs in the next 2 weeks is a small goal. That's a big goal. 50% off everything goes to myself off the top, 10% to taxes, 30% back into business, and the last 10. You either fill your funnel out or get super good at sales. Yep. My goal for next week is always the same, to make more than this week. It's a good goal. I'm moving in July to another state, starting my same audio video business there. Should I set it up now or wait until I get there? If you know where if you got the address and that, I would probably start setting it up now, getting your Google My Business and all of that kind of stuff. If you don't know where you're going to be living at or where that business is going to be set up at, then I would wait. But you could start the web page. You could do things to start moving things for that. Stupid question. There's no stupid question. The only stupid question is the question you don't ask. But do you need to be bonded along with having good liability insurance? Usually bonded is when you're inside the home. That's when you need to be bonded. So if you're doing like interior window washing, then you need to be bonded. Otherwise, you don't need to be bonded. If you can pick up some local work from your county, township, it's a good thing. Can be for sure. What do you think of Footbridge Media? Hey, Nathan, stay away. He already run. That's what Nathan says. Goal for next week, 20 quotes, did 12 last week. Nice. Run far. Got a call from a customer who hired the $99 guy. Roof looks like it was never clean. Neighbor hired me and still looking new, going on 2 years. It's what happens when you hire the cheap guy. 33% close rate. And so this is one of those things that people think you got to have a high close rate. People think that and it is about getting leads, right? It is about getting that stuff. And so a 33% close rate, Jason did over 250,000 in 2022. He's probably going to do more than that this year. And so it's all right to have a low close rate because his average ticket is probably in the upper $700-900, maybe. I don't know what it is. But you got to remember, this guy also is doing this part-time. He's got a full-time firefighter job. His wife's got a full-time teacher job. So it's not like that they're working 5-6 days a week in the business. They are working 5-6 days a week, but it is, that's how he's able to do that. I just got an email back. Your price is way higher than the others, so I'll have to pass. Okay. And then you follow up in a couple weeks, and they're like, well, those people never showed up, and now I'll buy from you. $99 house wash. Catch you guys later. I got to go take the world over. I'll be listening while listening. How many Google reviews do you suggest I have before running Google ads on Google? You don't need any Google reviews. You can start running Google ads with none. That's the beauty about Google ads. Little money, problems. Meanwhile, I got $1,100 for 4 hours surface cleaning, and then I got a jar of jam in the end. Yeah, don't sweat the cheapskates. Your last book nailed it in chapter 6. Find the good clients and treat them like gold. That's this book right here. Chapter 6. I forget. We'll be working on that one next week. Chapter 6. It's that is the 7 must of marketing. I use the best tools, the best products. I'm not the cheapest. The people are the cheapest will complain more about everything in life. And it's everybody else's fault why everything is wrong. Usually with that person. You guys don't got me questions yet. As a retired school teacher, it's to make $800 a day for a couple of hours of work. Slim pickings, aka Jason. And so this is something that you can do, right? As called way too busy. Me smile personality sells. And his big bald head is what it is that sells. These equipment dealers are hustling people. Some of them are, for sure. Profit first is great. I couldn't do it without that mindset. I noticed the best clients don't even bring up price until they have basically already made up their mind. They are testing you. Price is almost not important. That's because we're not selling on price. If you're selling on price, price is important, right? But if we're not selling on price, then we're not worried about that. Jason, you don't understand. People in my area will only pay $2,000 for a house wash. That's right. Well, you got that up there for sure. Jason likes being debt free on trucks, but yet makes fun of me, my debt free truck. So I did buy a new truck a couple years ago, but I had all my other vehicles paid off at that time, and I'm still paying on my truck. And DJ likes to go buy a $10,000 truck and put $12,000 into that truck. So he still has $22,000 into that truck, and it's a 1910. It's a 1950 piece of crap. No, it's not. It's a 26 or oh 06. I don't know what it is, but I like giving him crap. Debt free is the way to be. Hey Jason, I grab an elephant and I'm eating it one bite at a time. But man, that's a big elephant. You know, it is true, but you know what? The bigger the elephant is, the better reward is at the end. And you know what else? What happens when you eat an elephant? You learn all kinds of things. The bigger them suckers are, the more you learn. And you know what's good about learning? That means you're growing. When you think you know everything and you think that you got it all good and you don't need nothing else and you know everything, you need to go get you a bigger elephant and start learning some more. My transmission is slipping. Should I buy a new transmission or buy a new van? New van run great. What would you do? Depends. You're going to spend $2,000 to $3,000 in a transmission, but is that everything else still good in it? Right? Those are some things to think about with that. What are you normally charging for rust removal? As much as I can. Al likes to go out and clean those Chick-fil-A's. He was complaining to me about them the other day. I seen he did a video with them on there. I should bring that video up. If I had the choice on belt drive, would you go 5.5 or 8? I would go 8. Debt free, and I know who used to work for. I want to sit down with you to pick your brain. Best way to get commercial shopping strips. Go find out who the owner is and start emailing them and texting them and see if you can get a meeting with them and let them know what you can do with it. Find out who the maintenance guy is. Find out who you just got to find out. A lot of times you can find this information when it says available on the side. Call that number and usually you can get who owns it or where you need to get some of that. What's this? The price difference worth skipping over 5.5, 8. Can you tell a watery output difference between the two? You can tell. I mean, you're going to speed up quite a bit. More flow is faster. Jason, do you know a good place to take to make some nice professional looking shirts? I use Queensberry or something like that. Because you can use like Nike polos or you can do the nicer shirts. You could do Printify. You can do that. There's a couple subliminals if you want the whole fishing shirt that looks. Some people think they look cool there. Um, they're going to be depending on where you get them from. I don't have a source for those. Um, I don't. Sometimes there is people that do it locally. Hey, does marketing really work? I got calls from my GMB, Google Ads mailer, and yard signs all on the same day and just closed a $6,600 garage sign. Should be a record for April, right? And so this is the importance of why we don't just do one thing with marketing. He said he does the GMB, his Google Ads, mailers, yard signs. He's doing 5 arounds, right? And this is a Canadian, right? And so this is something that you have to do even if you're American. You have to do these same things. You have to touch them in every which way you can. Uh, um, it's not about just doing one thing and thinking that's going to get your business because that will not get your business. How much would you say it is to start up to cost a new pressure washing business? It depends. It really does. You really should get insurance. Depends on how much you spend in. One thing I would say is how much ever you're going to spend on equipment, you got to spend that in marketing. If you're not willing to spend that much in marketing, then you can't spend that much in business on your equipment because people want to go. I know people that will go out and buy $20,000 and $30,000 rigs, and they're selling them for half the price within a year. Why is that? Because they didn't get no jobs, and they're like, and they usually say, "Well, I'm changing what I'm going to do." Well, you just an idiot and went and bought a $30,000 rig, $20,000 rig, instead of putting $10,000 in marketing, putting $10,000 into a rig, and doing it that way. Now, is a $10,000 rig look as pretty and awesome as the 20 or 30? No, it doesn't. But does the 20 or $30,000 rig look better at somebody else's house because you sold it and you couldn't make money out of it? That's your question. Just starting out, have an opportunity to do some store and locks. Any advice? Want to get what chems to use? I don't know what store and locks are. I'm assuming they are storage garages. It depends on. Most of the time, you're just going to use SH, but if they have metal garage doors and they're oxidized, you're going to use a whole different process. 21% close rate so far this month. But 21% close rate this month, you can say, man, that sucks. He sucks at it. But look, it should be a record April. Imagine that. You're going to do a record month April because you're at 21%. It's not about doing more jobs. It's about making more money per job is what it's about. Which is better, Yelp ads or Google ads? I wouldn't spend a penny on Yelp ads. I would do Google ads. You could do Bing ads also. 32% close rate, average ticket of $1,200.36. I love when people give me the 36 cents because that tells me they know what their average ticket is. And Dan and his wife been back and forth messaging me, and they're killing it. Right, this is a part-time job right here for them. They only work on the weekends and only work one job a week because they're doing $1,200 in a day. Word of mouth is better than both of those, honestly. Well, you can only get so much word of mouth. Jason from Gulf Coast, why do you stay part time? Because he loves being a paramedic, and he's not too far from retirement. Link for the book. I which one you want? Profit first or the other one? I did have it up here. I don't know if I can do. I think the new one I can put it in here. Let's see. Tax Free Wealth is an awesome book. I would highly recommend it. Um, that's the first book. Let's see. Text. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Real quick on the fly. I like doing things on the fly. Um, yeah. Hey, Jason, what resources do you use to find the wealthiest areas of cities? And what about yard sign strategies? Okay, let's see. This is tax-free wealth. Add comment to 3 places. Paste. Go. There you go. There you go. That one. And then I will get you profit first because we love profit first. Profit first is what every new business owner needs to read. Um, and I know a lot of times when you're a new business owner, it goes right over your head, but it gives you the general idea of what you need to do. Um, and it is a great, 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 great book. I highly recommend it. Let's see here. 30 years anniversary of Waco, guys. Stay frosty out there. Let's see. 32% raise. Hey, Jason. Oh, so this question here. Hey, Jason, what do you find the wealthiest cities? So I would do. There's 2 things you can do. You can go to EDDM and use the tool in EDDM, and there you will find about EDDM will give you the locations and the average cost for that mail route, and so that's one way. The other way is this here, Justice Map. I've used it, shown it before. I think I can give this link here, and it will also kind of give you the hot spots of where you want to be at. Paste. So that way you can use that link there too, is Justice. And that will give you, you can zoom in and find out where the hot spots are. And that way you will know where to spend money at, basically, right? That's a good way to know. So the two ways that I would do it is Justice Map that I just sent you the link, and then EDDM. I'm not gonna. That one's a little bit harder to find. I'm not gonna give you that link. I'm ready to pull the 5-gallon roof pump and buy a new one. Is the 7 one any difference on distance? No, it is not much money at all. Not much at all, and they have more problems. Do you prefer commercial work or residential work? Disliking commercial. I like commercial, but I don't like repeat commercial, right? I don't like the Chick-fil-A going there every week. I like the $13,000 weekend job is what I like, right? That's the jobs I like. I like the $10,000 week, the day me and DJ went out and did one job and made $10,000. That's the jobs that I like for commercial, because the commercial I like is the big money. I don't like the $300, $600 every month, because that stuff sucks at the end of the day. You're like, I don't want to do this no more. I heard a quote today that said, you learn something about a man by the size of his problems. $100,000 in payroll is a big problem. That man is going places. I would agree with that. If you pre-treat concrete, have you ever dealt with anyone complaining about the S8? Nah. Let's see, them are all mine. Who cares? I have about $1,500 for marketing when I start it. What would you recommend allocating it to? Yard signs. That's going to be your best return on investment. Yard signs. Just bought a bunch of fittings and guns from a local shop. Trudy and Russ are getting my business now. I'm getting ripped off. Well, that sucks. Thanks, Jason, for all the information. So, if you want to know, if you want more marketing stuff, because that's what we're talking about, you can go to kingofmarketing.io, and I am going to be adding more stuff there. I will be adding Google Ads, whether you want me to run them for you, or if you want to do a one-time and it's done. I build them for you, and then you run them yourself. I will be putting that up here. Also, if you want a website, you can go check that out. So that is where you can check all of that information out right there. If you want to join Monday Night Marketing, like the one I missed this past week because I was diving, or I was on a dive site, go check out King of Pressure Wash. I have all of the stuff in there. You can go check it out. If you want to know when I go live, so when Jason goes live, you can text King. Don't put the parentheses in, just KING, to 859-696-1101. I will send a text out so that way you can come check that out for that. So that's where you will want to be at. XJet or soft wash pump for beginner. I would do downstream and a pressure washer. That's what I would do for a beginner. A soft wash pump, you can't do, only thing you can do with a soft wash pump is a house wash and roof cleaning. But with a pressure washer, you can do house washing, deck cleaning. You can do everything except the roof. So that's why I would do just that. But hope you all have an awesome night. If you need anything, there's ways to email me, get questions, message me, whatever. But I've been answering some people's questions and stuff, and I know on the marketing stuff, if you want to chat, there is a chat widget there that you can go through the chat widget on kingofmarketing.io for there. If you want to know when my next in-person class is, which is going to be Christmas lights and pressure washing, you can check out KPW Train or go to King of Pressure Washing and go to the in-person training thing. XJet versus soft wash pump is the package where you set it up and we run the ads available on the website. If you do that, you have to go to pressurewashhelp.com/Google Ads. Pressurewashhelp.com/Google Ads. Or I think if you go to Pressure Wash Help and scroll down, it'll say Google Ads and it'll take you to that link of me setting up your Google Ads. And then I'll send a video and if you need help, I'll do a Zoom call to make sure you get it all. So that's about all I got for tonight. Hope you all have a great week. I know that you will kill it and make sure that you're taking action. If you're not taking action, it doesn't matter what you do because you have to take actions. Even if it's a little step of actions will turn into momentum, and momentum will take bigger steps, and that is how we grow our business and get it to the next level. So I hope you all are taking actions and being consistent and being relentless and being prolific so that you can change your world and make things happen. So you're saying spend all money. I have fancy equipment and never put anything in marketing. That is not a good thing. You want to spend money in marketing and not put any money in equipment. So hope you all have a great night, and we'll see you all later.